The following program is a Nighthawk. The following program is a Nighthawk Network presentation.
Welcome everyone to the Interstate podcast. And today we got a guest on the show. We got the sports guru Hugh Lee in the building with us tonight. And you know how we do every show. We start off with the playlist. Give you 5 great songs by either indie artists or whoever's the guest, the songs they choose. So we got 5 great songs that Hugh has chosen that we will listen to during the playlist. And so you know how we always do. We go into commercial break and then we get into the playlist. What up, Hugh?
Hey, what's going on? How everything going with you?
Everything is good. This is the sports guru, y'all, Hugh Lee. We're gonna be talking sports. I know this is a music podcast, but we're gonna be talking sports. Just like when we interview Coach V. We're gonna get to that. But now we're gonna get to commercial break so we can get to that playlist so we get to chatting with Hugh.
All right, producer Ebuck in the building. What's going on, y'all? Time for another
What's going
episode
on?
of that show we call the Indie Experience. But first, we got some commercial words from our Nighthawk Network. Y'all know the motto, especially these two. The motto is simple: Nighthawk Network, our voices
It's
for
for our
our.
people.
That's right.
If you're building your dream from scratch, mic in one hand, hustle in the other, this one's for you. Road to Stardom Network and Nighthawk Network present, a podcast for the indie by the indie, all genres, all grinds. From hip-hop to metal, jazz to trap, we're breaking boundaries. And it's not just artists. Entrepreneurs, creatives, and self-made bosses, we see you. We're giving you the spotlight. This ain't mainstream, this is your stream. Coming soon. Be ready.
Hello, hello, hello. It's another glorious day, my T-Steppers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comfort together because it's time to dish tea. And you're dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meat.
Can't wait. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat.
Darling.
All right, and we are back, like we never left. And this is the playlist. So Hugh sent over 5 songs that we're gonna get into. What song you want to hear first, Hugh?
I want to definitely hear that Freddie Gibbs and Jadakiss, the Black Illuminati. I think that was a pretty nice song. I was really surprised too because I always hear songs with certain artists and think they from a certain state or area, but to hear him being from Indiana, Gary, Indiana, which I know their roots too. I remember, me and my boy was on our way to Chicago before in the past, to hang out and enjoy ourselves and have a lovely weekend. And going to Gary, Indiana, man, they got some really good underground hip hop. That was something I definitely wasn't expected. It felt like we was right at home in Detroit. And when we was in there going to the gas station, kind of kicking and hanging out like everything was normal, people was like, man, y'all was in Gary, Indiana. in the gas station a certain time at night. Y'all ain't had no guns and nothing on y'all. And I'm like, man, I basically feel like it was right at home, because I guess, being from Detroit and going to any type of area, wherever how rugged they think it is, it just feel like home. It had that vibe. But yeah, just to hear his music, and I've seen him on a couple of things too. A lot of people don't know he has songs featured on like Grand Theft Auto 5. Um, of course, the NBA 2K, but yeah, he definitely was making his way out there and impacting the hip hop industry. But yeah, that Black Illuminati, I definitely want y'all to, enjoy that because, yeah, like I said before, we all know Jadakiss, but yeah, that dude Freddie Gibbs can hold his own with anybody. Definitely after hearing that song.
So we gotta get into the Black Illuminati.
Yep.
Slam. Used to sleep on the floor with a kill check. Got a bag I can't bag yet because it's still wet. Reaper man, I pay him a visit, ain't paid his bills yet. Brain hemorrhage, blunt force trauma, I make him feel that. I rap and seal that. Send out the bricks that had the Nike swoop stamps. I'm just doing it for the camp. Nigga showed him to the plug, now he shopping behind my back. One thing about that bitch Karma, she coming back. If you trapping, keep a strap close. Nowadays the shit became a trend and snake your homies out cause everybody back though, but everybody black though. I let the fiends catch a beam, used to vomit off the secondhand crack smoke. Nigga got that PTSD from testing the key. Guns numb, hope I didn't purchase work from the FEDs. Cause every time I see the judge, it's like a scary movie. Fuck the court, real nigga can't do no jury duty. Internet done alter the shit through a different game now. I don't rap about dead ops, I let his name down. Shame how they blackball Kane, they scratch my name out. I pushed it longer than I expected to get my name hot. They wanna take me out this game like Shikari. Black Illuminati, touch big rabbit, streets need a body. I got all of them leeches away from around me. You ain't rich enough to get me hit, pussy, go up the bounty. Spit some cheese, bitch. Chop a scene, bitch. Brew him up, had him hugging them EMTs, bitch. Turn the witness to Stevie Wonder, ho, you ain't seen shit. Youngers on the Mando slide, this shit routine, bitch. Delta 88 with a Kool, not in my tube socks. Now I push the goons through the boondocks and the coon tops. Penthouse in the city, my bops giving me rooftop. Told him free my nigga G, we the hoe, let the whoops out. You feel my energy, they gon' remember me. Ain't never had a friend like me, your enemy, my enemy. Lambo crashed the whip and got placed in both shoulders. If he didn't live through that accident, this shit could've been over, yeah. They wanna take me out this game like Shikari. Black Illuminati, Afghan doggy, straight off the poppy. I ain't trust him at the dust, I'm like Christopher Maltasani. And it hurt my heart to hurt you, but nigga, streets need a body, yeah. I don't help these hoes, bitch, get a hobby. She ain't working and you ain't got a wifey, you got a Tommy, yeah. I got all of them leeches away from around me. Bulletproof to Escalade, I got iron like Robert Downey, nigga, yeah.
Triple S exercise.
Okay.
Kiss! That's what we do, nigga. I don't do the chrome heart, I just do the home art. You can catch a headshot or you can catch a dome dart. Go ahead and put the kids to sleep, this the grown part. But we knew what Billboard was, we had our own chart. Strapped and they pull a call over, you take your own charge. I ain't never worked for nobody, I sold my own heart. Smoke a fat one in the back, right in my own yard. Playing dominoes with my man, he in the boneyard. Now I can pay for the jet, right on my own card. Niggas tryna go man on me, I'm in the zone guard. Hand in hand with it, I ain't never played a phone guard. Calisthenics and cardio, just tryna tone guard. Your man got the semi, but he ain't popping. My youngin' got the bricks and the Hemi, and he ain't stopping. Little extra in the beginning to get him copping. He ain't worried, cause if they get him, I get him cockring. He know not to fuck with them bitches, they get him hot then. Stay low, finish the work, he get it drop ins. They just wanna be around money, but they are not friends. Until you fall back from them, that's where the plot ends. I've been repping the apple since it was rotten. When you a golden, you can never be forgotten. They gotta ram it, you don't never let the cops in. I can have your funeral in the top 10. A lot of niggas are nice, but they are not him. There's really nothing that you can do to stop him. Call him the God MC, just like Rock him. And he done took some L's, but yeah, he got wins. Motherfucker.
Yeah, I
All
like that
right.
type of music, man. That's fire to me, man. I definitely was liking that because, like I
Well, that's a
said,
good one. That's a good one.
and to hear Freddie get with him on that verse because it was like they was going toe to toe, man. Another thing too, for all the people who watch like Power and the Power series, he was on the Power spinoff. It was Power Books 4 Force. Yeah, he was cousin Buddy on there. So yeah, it was like he did a few things in the industry, and it's like he got a lot of nice music he put out there too. So yeah, it's a lot of good stuff that I've been hearing from him, and being one of the up and coming artists that I was hearing too, because most times I get on the internet or YouTube and want to listen to some new artists, and then they usually tell you some of the best indie artists out there. So that was my introduction to him. It was a lot of songs that I've heard too. I've even used with like promos on the show that I had on the Guru Perspective. I used some of his instrumentals too. I don't know if I should be saying this, but yeah, it's like just a lot of good music that I like to listen to. I know I've got like a gap like I've been hearing, but yeah, I listen to a lot of music to almost have that New York style flavor because me growing up in the Yo MTV rap era, that was one of my favorites. Listening to A&B and Rakim, Coogee Rap still out there doing it strong too, man. Speaking of, I definitely feel like that's the one we should spin next. The one with him and my man's 38 Spesh, and I'm just a huge fan of 38 Spesh too, because that dude from, New York, man, but his whole crew, the Griselda crew with, Conway the Machine, West Side Gun, one of my other favorite rappers is in that crew too, RJ Payne. It's a lot of good dudes. Rock Marciano. I could just go on for days. But yeah, I listen to a lot of the underground hip hop. So I definitely appreciate to have this opportunity to be on here with you too, because that's definitely something in my elements as far as when it comes to hip hop. He said, I know Freddie Gibbs from Wildin' Out and his appearance on the Breakfast Club. Yeah, man, that dude's nice, man. He do some nice work, man. But yeah,
I know who he is. I just never listened to his music.
yeah, he got some nice stuff out there. Trust me, if you into that style, because people got their different styles. I'm just a little bit more old school. Like I said, I can listen to you down south, like your Outkast and some of the hip hop artists like that. And I got a few. A lot of people put me in a box before in the past, and they'll say, "Oh, you listen to just too much New York." But I was listening to Far Side, to Hieroglyphics, Dale the Funky Homo Sapien, Razzcast. King T was one of my favorites. Easy E in the NWA era. Man, I listened to so much hip hop. It didn't matter where you from. If you had good music, you just had good music. And that's how I put it.
I'm the same way. Good music is good music no matter where the person is from. But for me, when it comes to hip hop, it's that old school. For me, in the tops hip hop, it's old school. And then we get into like the 90s era. But this
Yeah,
new school, not really. I know who they are, but I don't listen to them.
yeah. It's
I'm
kind of
more
hard.
I'm more into the on the indie side. So anything hip hop I listen to is normally from an indie artist.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's like a lot of the guys I heard now, they're doing mainstream stuff, but a lot of them still keep it underground. And that's what I've been liking because I feel like most times when you're in the industry or you doing stuff right now in the industry, a lot of that stuff get watered down. So yeah, I like to basically keep it in the elements, where it was born and raised, like you said, the early 90s. Man, I still got stuff like my Wu-Tang. I mean, I still got my purple tape right now up here where we at, man. I have a lot of that good stuff. And at one point I was telling the producer, man, I was paranoid. I ain't want to get no CDs because I thought that they was trying to, basically water down hip hop, which it did eventually. But yeah, that's why I kept a lot of my tapes. I still got a lot of my good artists, man. I don't got no cassette player or nothing, of course, but still, I had a lot of my memories from the good eras like the '90s hip hop, when I was first able to afford music. One of the first albums I had as a kid growing up, or it was my brother's, Eric B. and Rakim, to pay the full, you know. So yeah, it's just good to see. It's just really a blessing though, because when my parents were still here, rest they soul, they were saying this is not gonna last forever. And the songs that we was hearing, we felt like it was new and fresh. And all it was just stuff that they sampled and some of the things that they used. But it's cool because now I go back and listen to samples, like different songs, like it was one of James Brown's songs. What was it? Even a blind man can see how Dad's Effects used that instrumental. And they want effects. Yeah, I just go back and listen to everything now. But then, like you said, it's nothing that I don't really not listen to, bro. I even listen to classical music now, probably more than anything else.
I know you mentioned that you asked me if I played any classical yet, and I said no. Well, once I'm gonna do a classical show. I don't know when, but it's gonna be a show where I play classical music.
And what's so cool about it too, what you can do with it, because what made me listen to a lot of artists too, Rhoda, and I'm gonna tell E too, what's so dope about it was a lot of the movies we watched in the '80s kind of brainwashed us in some of the classical music that we listened to, or you would turn and listen to. Because when I was listening, of course, they had like the Trading Places song and like different theme songs, and it was cool to hear a lot of the stuff that we grew up on watching in the '80s had a lot of classical influence on it as well.
Yep.
There,
Because
that's why.
one of my favorite classical songs is Beethoven Fifth Symphony.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like a lot of those artists too. Like when it comes to Beethoven, or I listen to a lot of other guys too, because when you listen to most people will say Beethoven and Mozart, but I was listening to Antonio Vivaldi. One of my favorites is Niccolo Paganini. It was just a lot of guys that I didn't really expect to hear, because, like you said, the algorithm, once I was listening to Mozart and I was listening to Beethoven, that's when all those other guys came in, like Bach and all those other, artists. And it's funny because when you listen to one, then they give you other ideas too. So yeah, I definitely enjoy music in its old elements.
Okay, I got
Yep.
a question.
Mhm.
Here we are, three people that grew up in the hood. Why do we have such diverse musical tastes?
Because we've been around diverse people.
Mhm. And it's crazy too because
When you was a kid, certain friends you hang around listen to certain stuff. So you heard music from different people. Like my love of music comes from my father, basically my father. And when growing up, he was listening to the 70s, 80s music. He was listening to doo wop when, even though nobody was listening to doo wop at the time, he was still listening to his doo wop. And that's where my love of doo wop comes from. So
and I,
as, as kids, we've been around a diverse group of people who listen to different types of music. And so as a kid, you hear it, you like, okay, this is good. It's 80s, it's good. It's 70s, it's good. And a lot of the songs could still be played today, and these kids wouldn't even know that it's from the 70s or the 80s, the 90s. They wouldn't know because that's how good it is that it can still be played today. You think it came out today?
and that's what I like about it too, is because like I said, like I first started hearing just like hip hop, and then our parents listened to blues, and it was cool too, because as I got older, like in my 20s, and I was going to different clubs, they would play like R-rated blues songs, like the Candy Liquor and just things that we, haven't heard. We all
Yeah,
heard.
yeah, I like that song.
And it was cool to hear that, because we didn't know that that was even out there like that, but it was like more or less the late night jams they was playing. But me listening to classical music was more or less something that it was funny because when I was working at Lowe's, it was a customer there, and they could see that I was frustrated. One of my main customers, and he knew that he had to kind of calm me down before I had an episode in there, and he was like, man, he was like, man, you should go home, relax, get yourself together, man, and kick on and listen to you some classical music or something, man. And when I thought it was a joke, but then a little while later I started experiencing and going through and listening to more classical music and then hearing it and then listening how it says it helps your brain and it helps you relax. And it was just cool to get that second opinion and to hear that and to really enjoy it, because that's something that I told people when I was listening to just hip hop and R&B. I never listened to classical music, and lo and behold, I listen to that. Like, I still listen to my hip hop and underground music, but surprisingly enough, it's probably 30-40% of the time. But the other 70, I'll be listening to more classical and stuff like that. Or like you said, I go back and listen to groups like the Carpenters or like the old doo-wop groups and stuff like that, and just surprising how good the music was back then and how they created some of the songs they made, even back then in the 50s and 60s.
Okay, well, a couple
Yep.
things. One, shout out my guy Coach B. As you see, I got my Coach B set on this evening. So shout out to Coach B, Straight Sports Talk, 8 o'clock on Fridays. But my musical diversity really came from my love of TV. I mean, if you know the story of why they call me the Nighthawk, it was because late at night, while everybody couldn't sleep, I would wake up in the middle of the night and be sitting there in the living room watching TV. And it's like one of the shows that used to come on late at night that a lot of people don't know about because we was kids then, and most kids did not stay up that late. They used to rebroadcast American Bandstand sometimes at night, and that's when I started learning about different artists that was not the type of stuff that was getting played in the house. Because I grew up in a Motown house, very much so. My mother and father, they basically played most Motown artists specifically. So that was the music I grew up with. But like I said, when I started watching Bandstand, and then of course I learned that okay, it actually comes on Saturday, around noon. So I would watch that, Soul Train, so on. I started learning about different genres of music. And then of course there was the show American Top 40 with Casey Kasem. I started listening to
Mm-hmm.
that on the radio on the weekend. So that got me, familiar with pop music and whatnot. And it just all kind of grew from there. So organically, suddenly I knew songs that other people who grew up in the hood, because all they knew was hood stuff, was like, how you know that song? Like, that's in the top 40. That's number 10 this week. They be like, you a nerd. But I was a
We talked
musical nerd.
we talked about that before too,
Mm-hmm.
conversation where me and one of my boys, man, that's when when I was telling you when I first got cable in the hood, man, nobody else really had cable. And we was listening to a lot of the songs like Def Leppard and different, heavy metal groups. And we was in school singing that Pour Some Sugar on Me. And he was like, how do you know that song, Hugh? And I'm like, man, I got MTV, when MTV was MTV, it's resting after almost
Yep.
50 years,
That,
mainstream.
that's so sad. I
Yeah,
can't believe MTV is gone, man.
I can't, man.
We
Then
No,
MTV
MTV,
changed our lives. It really did.
MTV, MTV is still there.
but no
It's just
music.
that you're not gonna get the original MTV anymore.
I mean, in the end, bro, MTV is not MTV. MTV literally stands for
Right,
music television. If there is no music, it ain't no MTV.
Pretty much. I can't
right. That's
believe
why I'm saying you're not gonna get the real MTV anymore.
Right.
they barely play songs nowadays anyway. But that's how. And then the thing was, the marketing scheme was so good when they was doing that, because when you hear like songs on your MTV raps, or you hear like any pop song or anything you want to hear, like Michael Jackson, Prince, if you hear a couple of songs off that album and you look and you like, oh, that's the same album, man. I'm about to go get that. Most times it'll take me two good songs, and I'm about to try to go get it. And they don't advertise like that no more, especially now when you got the internet, and you can go on there and you can download songs off Apple and different things of that nature. It's just it took the purity out of what we used to do. Like me and E get into that
Yep.
on the Thursday, but it's not the same.
Right. I mean, the day the record store died at the mall, that's part of what changed music. Because it was not like going
Hmm.
to the mall and going to Sam Goody or someplace like that and just listening through the stacks, pushing the little jukebox thing they would have in the front, be like, oh damn, that's new. Let me check that out. And then suddenly you knew about artists that you wouldn't know about unless you went to the mall, like a Tiffany or a Debbie Gibson, something like that. The Bangles,
Good old Tiffany.
right?
Yep. See, I would go to the mom and pop record stores to buy whatever music I needed before the big box stores. But then
Yeah,
You
once
better
they
see it.
pop stores were dwindling away, you still had the big box stores, but then they started dwindling away, and you had no way of getting your music.
we was crushed when we found out Damon's was closed because we was going there for so many years. Me and E, we didn't even know each other, but we knew of Damon's,
Right.
because
I
they.
mean, basically, if you grew up in Detroit, you knew Damon's on the west side and Chantanique Records on the east.
Mhm. I used to call my boys who live on the east side, like Dre and my brother Sam, and I'd be like, "Hey, man, can y'all find this album?" If I couldn't find it at Damon's, they were going to find it where they were at, man. And that's how we closed down everything, man. We kind of put a monopoly on stuff because if I'm looking for something and he looking for something, and he could find it at Chantanique's and I could find mine at Damon, I buy it for him and we'd just switch, man. But like you said, the big box or like the mom and pops, none of that stuff goes on no more, man.
Yeah, because
And
the store the mom and pop store we used to go to when an artist would drop an album, they would go to that mom and pop store and do it in store. But
mm,
once the mom and pop stores was obsolete, you had no choice but to do your in store in the big box record stores. And
Now,
then
you
once
know what
those
that
was
actually remind me of, bro? You remember that scene from Love Jones where old girl goes to the record store and my man's is there and he goes to the stack and be like, hey, can I play a little something for you? And he grab an album and put it on the record player there. And that's the mom and pop store experience. That's what's missing
yep.
now. It's very
yeah,
few places you can do that now.
we went to Best
But
Buy and seen like some records, man. They expensive as heck now. The albums,
Vinyl like $40.
there's the out where I'm at, the mall, the guy just opened up a record store in the mall.
mm,
Yeah, like I said, we got a couple places here. Like shout out to the place Jack White from the White Stripes, his record store, third party records that's downtown. Then you got Dearborn Records that's
Yeah.
in Dearborn, and it's another place in Ann Arbor that does record. But like I said, it's very
Well, the
few
guy,
places.
but it's a record. So what I like that what he did, it's a studio slash record store. So
that's
you
dope.
can
Right.
go and use the studio and being that it's a record store, he could put your music right there in his record store.
That is dope, man. That's a good way to
Yeah.
do it. And I big ups to Jack
I
White.
thought about it. I thought about when the mom and pop record stores were obsolete. I was like, I was thinking about bringing it back, but I was like, well, we now in the technology age
Yeah,
that
what it
what if
is.
it work? What if you can do a mom and pop, but on the internet, like online? So because you got people all over who might want the music, they can't get to your store. So if you do it virtually, like on like an online mom and pop record shop,
And like you
you can
said
get
too,
whatever you want
we
from
got
all
lazy.
over the world.
We got lazy. Yeah, that's what it is. Or I could just say when you get things that come to you rather than you have to go to it, then that's what makes us all lazy. But technology did that too because Big ups to like streaming places like Napster, man. They changed the game and just different things like that. Then
Live wire, yeah.
yeah, you was hearing volumes of things, man.
And that's why it changed the game. And that's why we got Spotify. That's why we got Apple Music.
Right.
Because they were giving away the music for free for you to download.
It was a place too that had
And
a artist called Breaking Bread.
Yep.
a lot of the
Okay.
stuff.
Before we go more into the conversation, let's get to another one of these songs. What you got for us, Hugh?
Yeah, hit that 38 Spesh and Kool rap, man.
All right, let's do it.
I ain't heard Kool in a minute.
Whoo, Kool
My
still
song was
right.
Road to the Riches.
Whoo, hell yeah.
But
Hey,
I'm classic Kool, Road to the Riches.
that
All right.
symphony. Yeah,
All
you're
right,
gonna
let's
like
take us
Yeah,
out. It's
he was.
Upstate Queens. Three
okay.
Spesh and Kool rap. Here we go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hey, yeah, all these guns I collect is the XU rap. I'm overqualified for the next shootout. Caught him broad day right before they let school out. He got left with the left of his chest blew out.
My real niggas moved out and loosed out with 2 out. His shoes out, tool in his mouth, threw his screws out. Caught him with a couple, put potatoes on the muzzles. Part of his face muscle on the landscape and rubble.
That man made a puddle, told his bitch he can't lay a cuddle. Since 9-6, my hands stayed in trouble. Married to the money, me and them bands made a couple. My ambition met coke and mandated double.
My killers move around with fake handshakes and sluggy.
Duct tape and a shovel, man, they in trouble. How you hustle?
I'm Captain Kirk with the work, I run an enterprise. None of my work has been inside, cause they women live.
Nigga, what you mean? Nigga, what you mean? I was raised by the pimps, the OGs and fiends. We don't fuck with your team. We don't fuck with you, nigga. Got a clique full of killers from upstate to Queens. Niggas bloody up the scene. Hit 'em up, hit 'em up. When they come through your block with them 50-shot machines. You don't want what I bring. You don't want what I bring. Keep a cup full of liquor. I don't fuck with the lane, nigga.
We that real bad decision, catch a permanent incision. Cartiers for the vision, nigga, money the religion. Shirley Temple curl, killer stirring in the kitchen. That West Side Connect, baby, out of town to twist them.
Got a lot of guys in prison who mama cried in visits, and they tryna find prescriptions for their homicide addiction. You tryna find them misses, I'm tryna find them riches. So I started pimping, learned how to monetize my bitches.
Kid, that drama's out of vicious, you gon' see it when that shotty pop. And take pieces off your frame like the body shot.
I'm inside of his bitch mouth like a lollipop. Crack got me hot, so I opened up the Molly spot.
You get done dirty here, kid, the Sagatti block. Treacherous 3 on the squeeze, I make your body rock.
AOG, how many slugs do the shotty got?
I put at least 12 shells inside a poppy top.
Nigga, what you mean? Nigga, what you mean? I was raised by the pimps, the OGs and fiends. We don't fuck with your team. We don't fuck with you, nigga. Got a clique full of killers from upstate to Queens. Niggas bloody up the scene. Hit 'em up, hit 'em up. When they come through your block with them 50-shot machines. You don't want what I bring. You don't want what I bring. Keep a cup full of liquor. I don't fuck with the lane, nigga.
He's still that dude. Don't get it twisted. And I love me some Jay-Z. When he said hearing me rap is like hearing G rap in this prime, I was like, nah, don't do that, Jay. And I love you, man. But don't ever put you on that same pedestal as Kool G, because you ain't there, not for me. I know a lot of people kill me for saying that, but I could care less. I speak what I say, man, because I definitely don't ever have him right there with Kool G. He has to be crazy thinking that.
Yeah, I see he still got it because I ain't hear Kool in a hot minute.
Yeah, Kool G was nice with it, wasn't he? Damn, that dude. Hey, he can hang with these young dudes, man. Kool G first came out like in '85 or something like that, and now he's still with the dudes now. And I was hearing somebody telling me, I don't know if it was Evil, somebody told me that one of my homegirls, I think, that Slick Rick about to come back out with a new album too.
He already dropped it.
He
He
did?
already dropped it.
Yeah, and I heard Nas and Idris Elba was the ones who helped him get that mug together. Because the last one I heard it was the Freeze song with him and Raekwon. That was really nice, you know. But yeah, man, it's good to see a lot of these legends coming back in the game. Kool G never left though. But that's the first I
Yep.
heard of 38 Spesh. And I heard 38 Spesh actually just on YouTube, you know, like when I listen to like Benny the Butcher and when I hear West Side Gun and Conway the Machine and RJ Payne, all those Griselda cats, Rock Marciano, I can go on for days. But that's how I heard him because he did a freestyle. And I was like, man, who's this dude? And then that's when my homeboy Adrian told me at the job because he loved his underground hip hop too, and he was like, "Hugh, that dude named 38 Spesh. You should check out some more stuff of him, man. He fire." But then when I heard when him and Kool G had that album together too, the Upstate to Queens, I was like, "Yeah, I gotta listen to that." So yeah, um, they called him like basically like the son of Kool G rap. I think that's one of the name of the albums too. But they've been doing some really good collabs though, bro.
Hip hop is in my top as far as genres I listen to, but I'm more like when you catch me listening to music, it's more on the gospel side and the R&B side, and then it trickles down into country.
Okay.
But even though hip hop is still a top, I don't
Mhm.
listen to hip hop as much as I've done before. But yeah, country is like in my top. And as
Yeah,
far as genres go,
because it's
and
more versatile.
that's a genre most people don't black people don't mention that they listen to, but they do listen to.
Yeah, because like Bob Dylan, man, a lot of his songs, and like I even like Willie Nelson songs and stuff too. It was a lot of good songs, man. Johnny Cash, I mean, that's the man, you know. And just hearing a lot of the new black artists, you know, is making country music just really surprised me. Big ups to Beyonce for crossing over doing the country album too. But yeah, there's some good country music out there too, you know. And yeah, I definitely, like you said, I won't be to the point where I would, you know, say I won't listen to nothing ever again because I said that with the classical. And like what he said with the pop music, man, I told him a dirty secret of mine recently. Man, I'm one of them. Like when it comes to the pop artists, man, I used to love my pop music to this day. I was loving NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and all them dudes. I secretly wouldn't let nobody know. But then, yeah, I still listen to pop music like that and was loving it.
So I was I'm more in sync than Backstreet. I know who Backstreet is. I know their music, but I'm more of an in.
Agree. I definitely won't deny that.
I mean, you got 98 degrees. Don't forget about them.
Yeah. One
Yeah,
Direction.
those are my boys. But when it came to those two groups, you had to pick a side.
Yeah,
When it
for
came
sure.
to
Pretty
Backstreet
much.
Boys and NSYNC, you had to pick a side.
It was definitely
And I
Team In
picked NSYNC.
because you had
I,
like
I basically picked NSYNC because remember, the Backstreet Boys was basically Project B for the person that created New Edition. And then after he juiced them out all their money, then he created the Backstreet Boys.
yeah, but he was dirty though. Remember how
Yeah,
he like
that's
you
why I ain't
said,
like Backstreet Boys because of that.
especially how he did
Yeah,
how he did
New
what he
Edition
did.
was
And
working
then
for Maurice Starr.
what was the other
After
kid's name?
Maurice Starr,
Movie star,
New
after
right?
they
Kids on the
left
Block.
Maurice Starr got New Kids on the Block.
Yeah, we
Maurice
Like
got
Starr
who?
got New Kids on the
Like
Block
who?
after New
that's
Edition.
what
They
I was
tried to
thinking
make
of.
him
My bad,
The
New
new
Ro.
kid, the
Edition.
new
Right.
kids on the block.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, Ro. You right.
New Kids on the Block. I love New Kids on the Block.
It was nice though.
But Maurice Starr tried to make them the white version of New Edition. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
crazy part. Even though they didn't have the same type of songs, the only song that New Kids on the Block could get over with that you would say New Edition could do that song is their song that sounds R&B-ish, Please Don't Go Girl. That's the only song that song, New Edition could sing that song.
Yeah, I used to love New Edition, man, but yeah, they did New Edition dirty, man, and I think they definitely deserve way more money than what they had, because I mean, New Edition, once New Kids on the Block came, they had the cartoon, they had the little lunch boxes and everything, and I was like, man, that definitely supposed to have been some type of, justice for New Edition, but I feel like once he moved on, man, he felt like, well, it was a better market, unfortunately, which, unfortunately it was at the time.
Well, see, I think that's another thing about people and how they grow up musically, so to speak. Because with us living here in Detroit, we get all the concerts. We don't just
Yeah,
get R&B concerts or rap concerts. The country artists come here, the rhythm and
Same thing in
blues.
New York.
I mean,
Get
we
all the
got
concerts.
the largest jazz festival in the world that come here. We grew up in Motown, so we always get to hear a variety of stuff.
absolutely. And most times when those artists come here, that's when they go to Motown, so yeah, definitely glad, proud of that, man. Definitely glad that we had those roots.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay,
So
so
what's your
what we got
next
next,
song,
Hugh?
Hugh?
All right, go ahead and hit us with the Coast Contra, man.
All right, what song was that one, sir? The fifth? Gotcha. So I believe the song was that Digital Diary.
Oh no, Digital Diary is on Tri-State.
Okay, so Don't Worry is the one.
Don't Worry was the one I was
All right,
talking
here
about.
we go. So Don't Worry by Coast Contra.
Who said light don't come from pitch black? Who said one life can't make an impact? Who said they rules can rule on our maps? Who said that? Who said that?
All this game come for free, don't worry. Money don't make you rich, don't worry. Smiling don't cost a thing, don't worry. Ain't no price on that. All this game come from you, don't worry. It's your voice and it's too, don't worry. Who else gon' speak the truth, don't worry. It's our time and it's
The news say this is the sound of our society. Stress levels high, it sound like your anxiety. People getting high, drugs come in variety. Cause pharmaceuticals ain't gon' profit off of sobriety. The streets say this is the sound of our struggle. We live check to check, 9 to 5 hustle. Try fast money, the feds just might bust you. Everybody snitches so we don't trust you. The youth say this the sound of confusion. Who left the God, the problem child to solutions. Daddy done left me, the old head's useless. And mama say I'm just like him, God. The women say this sound like my frustration. Broke ass, they ain't shit. I hate man, he better drop a bag, a purse, a vacation. Ain't no being faithful, fuck him and then replace him. The men say, don't this sound like bull? Want 6 figures from it, but won't fuck a man below 6 feet if he ain't rich. Y'all too hard on it, that's why life's a. And we say this sound like an agenda. Sound the alarm, we tryna forewarn. Pit me against you, what really is the issue? Good and evil, black and white convince you. Rich and poor, gay and straight offend you. Divide and conquer, that there's the mantra. They play both sides, all of our enemies sponsored. Amplified chaos, feel like the vibe's way off. The savior is unity, we all coach Contra. Lean into your conscience, think for yourself, cause false prophets, they can't help, they just profit. Look inside, you'll find the wealth they can't pocket. I said move, damn, let me speak. I got something to set you free. I got something that you can't find. I got that shit to blow your mind. I got something to make you move. Just that shit that make you break the rules. I got that shit, the raw truth. And now it's all up to you.
Yo, my look, the baby need new shoes and the red past too. Getting harder every day, thank God we made it through. No me importa si no entiendes. If you don't understand, don't trip de pa mi gente. Donde sea que estoy contigo, mira al frente. Sigue atente contra la corriente. Muchos se han ahogado en mi flow por accidente. Hay que tener fe, no te preocupes de las cosas de la vida que no puedes resolver. Habla con Dios, siempre está presente. No estás solo, eres suficiente. So you gotta have faith. No te preocupes de la gente en tu vida que no puedes entender. Todos no son amigos, solo pocos son fiel. Mira, la cita desde mi piel. What else can I say?
Yeah, back to life. I came from sacrifice. Combat my vice. I rap on mics. I'm a afterlife. Still gonna be black as Christ. So don't cross me, cause he might feel. Had to take it back to basics. Brick by brick, my foundation. Like a drug. Love is the law of our creation. I follow the law, and that's what makes me real.
All this game come for free, don't worry. Money don't make you rich, don't worry. Smiling don't cost a thing, don't worry. Ain't no price on that. All this game come from you, don't worry. It's your voice and it's too, don't worry. Who else gon' speak the truth, don't worry. It's our time and it's.
Who said light don't come from pitch black? Who said one life can't make an impact? Who said they rules can rule on our maps? Who said that? Who said that? Who said light don't come from pitch black? Who said one life can't make an impact? Who said they rules can rule on our maps? Who said that? Who said that?
All right. Okay,
Yeah.
it sounds like to me they sampled Black Sheep's "You Can Get With This, So You Can Get With That." It sound like they sampled to make their song.
What's dope about them brothers too, they give me that Wu-Tang feel. But the funny thing is, I wanted to educate y'all on that, and that's why I didn't say anything before we came on air. Two of the kids on there is Razzcast sons. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Razzcast.
Y'all know who Rascals is.
He did the solo on Ice, you know, he did the Ghetto Fabulous with Dre, of course, and then he did a lot of songs with my man's RZA with the Wu-Tang Clan, you know, and he did a few songs with one of my boys who's actually a hip hop producer who's out in the mainstream too. Big ups to Apollo Brown, man. Yeah, Razzcast have two twins in the group, of course, Coach Contra, and his name is Raz and Taj Austin. And that group was dope. When I heard something on my algorithm talking about those brothers, and I wanted to listen to it. But then when I seen the Razzcast, I was like, what do the Razzcast got to say about these dudes? And then that's when he said his two twin sons are in the group. And I was like, okay, I definitely didn't know. But he felt like he wanted to keep quiet because he didn't want to be biased, because he always felt like the music they had was dope. But he was like, let me just chill in the trenches. And, you know, because by me being biased, he wanted to hear other people's opinions. And he said he went to a concert at one point where a guy basically had some, you know, artist that he had on stage, and he was like, well, my sons is going to perform. And when the guy heard Coach Contra and heard how nice they was, that's when Roscoe started giving them more credit where credit is due. And they have two other guys named Eric Jamal and Rio Los. And yeah, they've been making waves in LA, man. And that's what I like too, because like I was saying before we came on air, a lot of people don't give the West Coast their credit. You know, I love the godfather of hip hop, and I've always called Ice-T that because he was a B-boy back in the day on some of our favorite movies like Breaking 1 and 2. And then, you know, other
Ice-T
artists.
is from the East Coast, and he moved out to LA.
Oh man, nah, I didn't really know that part about that. That's what's up,
Yes.
bro. Yeah, because he was a B-boy.
Ice-T's originally from New Jersey, and then he moved out to the West Coast, and that's where he became a rapper.
And that's crazy how some of that stuff when you live in one area and you move, because the dude I forgot his name from Breaking, he was in Chicago and moved to LA, and they brought like the
Yeah. Which one? You talking about the one who played Turbo or Shabba-Doo?
Shabba-Doo. Turbo was my man. Man, you see Turbo's still doing this thing. I've been seeing him on the internet still doing animations of when he did the broom hookup, you know, on the original Breaking.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just cool because I don't think people give credit where credit is due. Because like I told you, I loved my Far Side, Hieroglyphics, Dale the Funky Homo Sapien, you know, your King T's and NWAs. It was a lot of good artists over there. Loved Razzcats too. And you know, Kendrick Lamar, you know, a lot of good LA artists that I feel like I'm glad that they're getting their credit where credit is due. But yeah, definitely enjoy Coach Contra, and a lot of people who I let listen to them were definitely saying and comparing them to the Wu-Tang Clan as far as their lyrical status.
Man, you said like you know your hip hop, B. You feel me, son? Ain't about no old school. What's up with my man's the Beastie Boys and
Oh yeah,
LL Cool J and
love
guys
Beast.
like
You know,
The
DJ
Beastie
you
Red
know
Boys.
Alert
some
and all that beat.
Beastie
Oh
Boy,
yeah,
the
DJ Red Alert,
Beastie Boy.
You know about that, son.
DJ Molly Mall.
You too young, yo.
Yeah, it's cool. I had brothers and sisters who used to listen to it because some of the stuff I ain't had no business listening to on MTV Rap, but it was cool, man. Because the part that scared me, I remember on that Follow the Leader when Rakim had the dude kiss his ring. I was like, man, I ain't never seen nothing like that before on TV. So yeah, it was just
Rakim was all of that back then, yo.
they
He had
brought
all the
Maryland,
speed
man.
and honeys.
But it was what was sad to me too was why MTV had to put hip hop on, game before BET really started playing it. The MTV opened a lot of doors, man. And we can go back to the Elements on how they didn't let the black music come on air at first until Quincy Jones threatened to take all his artists, his white artists, off air. And that's when they gave Mike his first chance, and that opened the doors for your Rick James and your Prince and all the color artists.
Word is bond, B. Tell them, yo.
Yeah, I was
That's
loving
how it
it
went down, son.
because I noticed I ain't never really seen a lot of black artists until like going closer to the 90s.
That's facts, B.
That's
And don't
what's up.
forget about Crush Groove, man.
Crush
The
Groove.
original hip hop movie, yo. I love that movie, son.
Yeah, with
The
I love that
young
movie.
fat boys, man. Because I'm a fat boy. You feel me?
I was so excited when New Edition won that talent show, man, when the Fat Boys was crying. And was that the reason they went to go eat after they lost?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Oh, you can eat.
And then Russell Simmons was in there too. Remember, Run was
Yeah,
trying to put
he
them
the
on
one. I think he produced. I think he helped produce that movie.
Mm-hmm.
because the dude
Indeed.
I forgot the dude who played Russ, but then Russ played like one of the shady like dudes, like a con artist.
No. You know who played Russ?
Blair
Blair
Underwood. Blair
son.
Underwood.
Come on, B.
Blair
But
Underwood
no, one of
played.
my favorite parts of that
Blair
movie
Underwood.
is when they be in school and they all get kicked out of class, and then they wait in the hallway for the young shorty to come through, and my man's be singing to her on the steps. That's my junk, B.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. And then Beat Street and stuff like that, man. Especially Beat Street. The elements of Beat Street was so nice.
No doubt, no doubt.
And one of my favorite songs back then too was that Boogie Down Bronx, man. I could listen to that to this day. Yeah, I could listen to that to this day.
That was all of that.
Where you got that hoodie from, man?
Yo, man, that's just my gear, son. That's just how I get busy. You know? Y'all don't feel what I'm saying, though. This episode, this is about that real hip hop, son. Not that watered down flavor, mumble mouth stuff, B. We ain't got time for that, yo. Hit us off with another one. Hit us off with another one, Hugh.
What's the next song, Hugh?
I'm trying to get that Tri-State Digital Diary, man. It ain't that long, but he be dropping knowledge, man. I love me some Tri-State.
All right, let's see what's good with it, yo. It's Tri-State with that digital diary, son. Let me put y'all up on game, kid. You feel me?
Are you really ready to meet God? Huh? Tell me you think your soul is ready to meet God for judgment right now. You are lucky that you're not dying now, aren't you?
Open the diary. From analog to digital, digital to analog. Yo,
Deluxe entrance, digital diary, death sentence. Design paragraphs for 3-dimension prescriptions. The high potent dosage of dangerous dialogue. Pop 1,000,000 milligrams inside of a monologue. Have them tweaking. Puncture the notebook, pen bleeding. Confessions of a squealer got your men leaking. Bank rolls tucked in a tailor tux. Boat language for my sailors counting major bucks. No discrepancies. Spot a fraud like leprosy. Your bottom broad wanna get next to me, the Bishop Don. Sid Vicious with the charm, pimpin' strong. I'm talking big dishes on the arm, heavy cables on the neck. Pure solid gold, holy tabernacle text, and a fully loaded scroll. Fuck a concept, sit in the stoop. By the projects, cooking up this alphabet soup. Straight out the Pyrex, the pot boil. Copping stocks of the oil with the Arabs who set up shop on foreign soil, yelling Muammar, Osama, Saddam. That's the heritage, I'm strapped with a nuclear bomb. Now who's the terrorist? Attack of the clones. Back for the throne, immaculate poems. Perform with an accurate tone. Test technology talk. Literally blow the system in a custom kitted butterloaf range. How could you miss them? Body and tracks, I embodied the art of rap. Sniper with articulate aim. Leave the target flat. Signed and sealed, the letter of appeal say, I'm cold as ice, killing will, ayy. Dip the stem of the leaf into the ink. Scribble life as I see it on every sheet. They say it's like the Bible in HD, so I suggest you pray for every rival that face me. Reveal the hidden scriptures and lost books. Land deep inside the mind of the God, look. They say it's like the Bible in HD. The diary I prescribes like the Bible in HD.
Okay.
I want to ask y'all the question. E and you, Ro, where y'all think he come from? Where y'all think he reside at? Like where he live at?
Well, his name is Tri-State. The
Mm-hmm.
Tri-State is New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. So he's
Mm-hmm.
got to be from one of those three places.
You'd be surprised when I tell y'all. That's why I ain't say nothing, and I was quiet on this when I was telling y'all different artists and who was gonna be on there. You know, he's from LA. That's why I've been surprised to hear some of these artists like that myself, because I definitely thought that he was from New York when I first heard him. One of my favorite artists who's from Los Angeles, a lot of people be sleeping on too, was the Cali Agents, and that was Rasco and my man's Planet Asia. They had a group together, and I used to love the Cali Agents. But then Planet Asia ended up going solo, but he do songs with Tri-State. And one of my favorite groups that they performed was a group called Do Rag Dynasty. And Do Rag Dynasty, I think I let E hear one of the songs, Neighborhood Drug Dealer. And when I heard that, I was like, man, you know, I already knew who Planet Asia was. But I was like, man, what's this dude with him? Then when I started looking up more stuff and I found my man's Tri-State, and I got a lot of his songs, man. But I definitely love his music, and I just was really surprised that surprised me too, because if you'd have told me a dude called Tri-State is from Los Angeles, I would have said ain't no way. But yeah, that's where he reside from.
See, here's the thing, Hugh. A lot of the music that you enjoy from this genre, with most of it, it'd be like, damn them words. I don't even want to hear what they got to say. This beat so out cold. I just want to play the instrumental and ride down the street.
Mm-hmm. But you know, we got a lot of them
Straight
instrumentals
low
too. E.
rider
Yeah,
type
you know, we
stuff.
got a lot of them instrumentals because you know, most times when I hear them, that's one of the first things I try to do is find that instrumental, man. But definitely love Tri-State and that Do-Rag Dynasty. If y'all in for some wanting to listen to some good Los Angeles underground hip hop, I would suggest that. That was just one I wanted to pop up and put on there too. But yeah, I would definitely send.
All right, that
Okay.
was weird.
I'm gonna definitely send
Yeah, that
him to
was.
you. Check out that Do Rag Dynasty Road, that neighborhood dope dealers. I know you will like that.
See, yeah. So, was that the last song?
Not quite. We listened to Tri State. We listened to Coast Contra. Freddie Gibbs. We got one more because we listened to Kool Rap too. We listened to 4 of them already. There we go. MF Doom, Book of Wars.
All right, here we go, y'all. This is MF Doom, Book of War.
It ain't nothing like a fist full of cash or a bliss full of the hash that twists like a mustache from end to end, spread it like a rash from talking through your Walkman or at your disco bash. Give me the Tim's Rumpelstiltskin brown, a metal face mask with the built-in frown, a mic to tilt down 100,000 pounds and see how kilt sound like spilt milk clown. Cocoa butter on a very ashy day, fam. Ray-Bans out on the islands of Cayman. Or I break it down for the layman. Band-Aid Soleil for the San Tropez. And a can of old gold, too cold to hold, slow your roll. Keep on moving like soul to soul, hold the dough. Like a fool stole pity, y'all, for trying to go up against City Hall titty ball. The black mic is like a red violin. Okay, everybody back to the lab, try again. Rap game like Leviathan, leave bad taste, killing my high like niacin. Stop kidding, middlemen need Ritalin. Hit me with the full tin and gin and I'm a kid again. Keep the bong lighting straight through the songwriting. The supervillain, aka the thong biting, is inviting all to the reciting that's dope and raw. Hoping all y'all come in peace and it's open ball. Tear the roof off this bum barrage clock by the end of the night. Spaz like shot spot. I spilt a shot, made the pen lines runny. A ill plot to 10 times Ben Stein money. Funny how he ripped the scripts with a straight face, with more rhymes than his lies in your database. Placing rappers in endangerment who's reckless with this food for thought, sorta like breakfast. You could mark it off as wreck on the checklist. Wear gold fronts, can't afford no necklace. Shit, that 10 could go to help build them daycares. Somebody say yeah, pay your fears. Killer herbalizers their shares, and y'all can pay doom and beers.
Came to the shores of America, the sky that's a pillar, the alpha and omega, the home of the beggars, the black settlers who've been beaten, raped, lynched, robbed, and stoned, and called upon the earth for service that they couldn't maintain at home. This dates back to 1555 when they captured the first tribe of men and piled them in a pen 50 feet high. They took them all on the 9,000-mile ride and landed on the shore of a place they never seen before. We read about this inside the ancient books of war. Bondage and stainless steel, stripped of their language, still survived the anguish of slavery, but still remain nameless. Separated to portions and tricked by John Hardy Hawkins and sold on the auction. Taught birth control and abortion. Rulers of the first part became slaves of the worst part. The devil's cursed God and reversed God. It turned God to dog and made people search hard. No relief came to the prophet, or death relief for rod. Short trauma, dropped our mamas off in Bahamas and Barbados. Tobagos separated us from slave boats. Made our own brothers hate us, from Virgin Isle to Jamaica, Trinidad, Honduras, Haiti, Grenada, Bermuda to Cayman, mental enslavement.
Conquered more dips than the late Hannibal. Terrain gets too rough, I ride the beats like woolly mammals. Smoking shit like Joe Camel. Fatal when inhale, 007, but you still got tail. Q scrambling device must have failed. Spies, thick thighs, and mics get nailed. Lies, deception, military prowess. Bad bitches, tours, and microphone powers. Chemical warfare and mortar showers. Once again blowing up shit like the Twin Towers. Poison rhymes for enemies or whoever devours. Holding shit down until the last hour.
Worldwide famine. Poor people demanding that somebody do something soon. And let's examine the facts behind the violent acts, behind the daily gunplay, the cocaine and the crack. Thug season. What's the reason for the treason? Everybody wants to eat. Some gotta resort to thieving, believing that a hustle will help them get by. But for every one that gets over, another 100 will die. Will I succumb? Will my heart grow numb? Or will I save the world by using my mind like a gun? Seems a better weapon, cause everybody got heat. I know I carry mine since the last time I got beat. Ain't nothing sweet. I turn a stick-up kid to a soldier, put him down with the cause, make him feel real bolder and more intelligent. Plus aware of the technology. The revolution is grab your shit and follow me.
2000 came and went, 2001 was crazy. People can't deal, fashion go back to the 80s. Got me thinking about my niggas, drinking dark liquor, sparks flicker in my mind. My heart quicker, think about the time they tried to front on a kid. Up in front of Mega Evans, nigga Neil, Juju set the D, wrote up like whatever you wanna do. Damn, nigga Derek, Look, locked down, Seth held the spot down. Wonder how long he got now. Wow, if it happened today, who would ride? My man Junior got shot. Ray committed suicide. Do or die, change the duo live, doing they thing. Rubik's is in Atlanta, LG ready to bang. Kev lost his baby mama, Keeper lost a baby father. Enough to make you say why bother, but no, they tried harder, that's strength. Good love to my nigga John. Soon as you come back, you back on. That's where it's bomb.
Yeah, baby, shit's about to jump off. Looking for the bus, bringing my man from up north. Been like 3 years when he got knocked. Since he got caught, pumped up like 5 new blocks. Hold it down for it. Kept a nigga straight with money on the books. And ain't bitches is crooks who look out for other crooks. Took him shopping, money in his pocket, he straight. Dropped them off at the wife crib after we ate. Out of state was the next move for me. Had to make that nigga chill for at least 2 to 3 months. Cause once it's on, he didn't care. It's like, slow down, baby, the money ain't going nowhere. Keep in touch though, to show how much your ass is with it. The dough flow is there, and in a minute you can get it. You got to watch a nigga just coming home in this game. Cause on the low, he may be trying to go against the grain. Okay.
That's interesting.
Y'all want to guess where he come from too?
He got DMX, Guru, because it sounds like I heard Guru, and Talib Kweli.
That voice, RZA, he had some good artists on that song.
Oh, I didn't recognize RZA. That's one I didn't recognize. I didn't recognize RZA. Sound like I heard Guru, Talib Kweli, and
Absolutely.
DMX.
You can hear the voices and tell, but yeah, that was all of them in that song. I'm gonna tell you and break the mold for you. The reason why I got these specific artists and different artists, because like I said, one of these dudes was from Gary, Indiana. You had, of course, your New York dudes on there. Then you had 2 dudes from Los Angeles, and you have a British rapper. MF Doom is from Britain. That's why I wanted to put this whole thing together, and I picked these artists specifically because of the fact they're different backgrounds.
But you wouldn't know that. The way he rap, you wouldn't know that.
Absolutely.
You don't hear the accent.
Absolutely.
You don't hear the accent.
When I first
There's a
heard
lot of British rappers, you can tell you can hear their accent.
some of the British
You don't
rappers
hear his
are
accent.
terrible. Yeah, because he sounded like he's from like a New York or somewhere. But rest in peace to MF Doom too. If you all didn't know, he was born July
He did
3rd,
pass away.
1970, and he passed in
He did pass away.
2020. Halloween Day, Yeah, that was my man's because I'm a huge fan of villains like Dr. Victor Von Doom. And when I first heard of MF Doom and I seen the mask, and the albums, I bought a few of the albums, and I was like, man, this dude is dope. And then he had a pretty good impact in hip hop, and I definitely appreciate it because, like you said,
He's a producer as well. That's how I knew of him being a producer. And then he became a DJ. He was DJing as well too.
Yeah, I definitely appreciated him and what he did and what impact he did because he's one of the underground. Like when you talk underground artists, I'd be surprised if people say they don't know or never heard of MF Doom because he was so popular. Definitely enjoyed his music while he was here and still enjoy it. Feel like
everybody, that was the playlist. If you heard all 5 songs, if you didn't, you could go back, play the show from the beginning to get to the playlist and hear all 5 songs again. We had MF Doom, we had Freddie Gibbs, we had Tri-State, we had Spesh, 38 Spesh, Coast Contra. So we had a lot of great artists that I heard of but never listened to. So yeah. So we're gonna take a commercial break coming out of the playlist. We're gonna be chatting with Hugh to find out how he became the sports guru.
Again, this is the Indie Experience. Please make sure you check out previous episodes on Road to Stardom Network TV, which you can find on YouTube. We will be back after these words once again from our Nighthawk Network. Nighthawk Network, our voices, our people.
Are persons.
Let's try this.
The Guru's perspective. Stats and insight from a man who is not only a fan, but has knowledge of sports in general. He is a student of the games.
Alrighty. And we are back. So, we got Hugh in the building. We're going to find out how he became the sports guru.
I basically.
Because he is. Go ahead, Hugh.
No, after you.
So, because I'm sure the people want to know, because the people been watching your show, The Guru's Perspective, and your sports session you do with E every Wednesday. And I'm sure they want to know how you are so knowledgeable about sports and how you got the name, the sports guru. So tell the people.
Man, I study sports like school, man. It was just cool that when I started to recognize, he actually came up with the cool name. But for me being my age, I'm a little younger, but then it's like I still study like a school nerd when it comes to like certain things. And me and E have so much stuff in the algorithm that we just can't even give it to everybody. Not all of it, because there'd be so much stuff that we have in sports knowledge and things and pages we find. But a lot of stuff that I recognized was when I was especially at Home Depot and when I went to Lowe's, guys was asking me different questions about sports and things of that nature. And when they'll be like, well, if you don't know this, man, you know, you can ask Hugh. And they ask a question like, what was the guy who was on the Philadelphia Eagles and went to Green Bay and won the championship with Green Bay? And it just hit me like that. Reggie White. You know, it's just certain things that you could say or things that I listened to and studied that I just basically take my pride into because I definitely love watching sports. You know, basketball used to be my first love until it wasn't. Got a little too European for me, in my opinion, but football's kind of getting that way now too, as far as professional. And it's even now how they're kind of, you know, taking away the purity of the sports in college football. And that's been a dagger for me, but still, as much as I watch sports, I like the competitiveness and just, you know, just watching good TV. Keep me entertained, you know, keep my mind from drifting sometimes too. And just really love the sports and just figured that, you know, when I talked about it so much, I had people asking me from Eric and other people from where I worked with, especially my boy Muhammad and Steve, and one of my girls, Nicole Hembrick. They was like, Hugh, you should make a show or you should do a podcast. And I did a podcast and dabble for a while, my boy J. Lou and Monique, and then I took time off after that experience. But then when he came along, he was like, Hugh, man, if I do a sports show, would you like to come along? And I said, yeah, man. And did definitely appreciate you too, because not only am I good as far as doing the talking part and giving you my knowledge, but the production level, I was able to step my game up and do that as well, because that was something I didn't want to do at first, bro. But then once I started to, you know, mess around and get in the studio, because I got nothing but time right now. And yeah, that's just been something more of a passion of mine too, as far as videos and us doing the productions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess I should step in here for a minute since I was actually the person that gave you the name. But do you know why? Here's a story that you don't even know.
Okay.
Okay. Once upon a time, me and that brother right there, Hugh Lee, we worked at a place that we will not name. But
It'll remain nameless.
yeah. But unlike my brother Hugh at the time, I hated that Smurfing job. I truly, truly did. One of the few things that I actually liked about that job was the fact that I met a person who, when I was so damn sleepy, because we used to come there early as all hell, I could actually have a decent conversation with about two things. One of them being sports. The other one, interesting enough, was TV, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But
Absolutely.
anyway, it was like, yeah, dude know his sports. Because, usually I don't meet too many people that know as much sports or even more sports than I do. And Hugh was one of those people when I got talking like, okay, he know what's up. And he
Appreciate
don't know one sport, he know multiple sports. He like a guru. So in my mind, even at that point, you was the sports guru. It just so happened that okay, when it was time for me to start doing podcasts and I wanted to branch out from the one I was doing and do sports, it only made sense to call you because you was the only person that I knew that knew as much sports or more sports than I did. So that's why I
Definitely,
started calling you the sports guru.
definitely
The
appreciate
rest
that
was history. Several
because
hundred episodes later.
yeah, because we've been dropping them episodes, man. I think the best thing you told me was to take that break because I had to rejuvenize, and a lot of times you don't realize that, but your body would tell you. And that little time we had off, I thought it was too short at first, but then just was glad that I was able to do that because we definitely needed to reboot and do more, man. Because we constantly getting more technology and stuff coming out there. That's why I like being on the show with y'all today too, because of the AI stuff and all the things and promos that we've been doing. I got to get back. I got to get more on the music side, the classical stuff. But y'all been doing a good job at that right now, holding me down.
Yeah, because the thing is, I can relate to both of y'all because me and Ro, we are both very creative people. So it's like, but the thing is, and I think Ro will attest to this, it's hard for us to focus on one particular thing because our mind work in a way was like, okay, I want to work on this a little bit. All right, now I want to work on that a little bit. Okay, let me put that on the back burner. Let me work on this. And we come up with all these things and whatnot. It's like, it's crazy. I mean, especially with us doing the AI music. When I tell you, you go on my phone right now on the voice recorder, I got about 70 bits and pieces of songs, all types of songs. But in the same token, I also got all type of pictures and notes for different sports and whatnot. I mean, like me and Hugh talked about this before. If you go to like well, it ain't really a group chat. It's just me and Hugh going back and forth. But like, we sharing constant sports stuff constantly, every day, all types of sports. It's crazy.
Transfer portals and everything. It's been crazy, man. And speaking of, man, did you just see what happened? I don't know how long we go. I don't think we're gonna be number 4 for long, man. We just lost our spot as Michigan is number 2, and Iowa State just got the brakes beat off of by 21. 84-63 was that final score.
Michigan lost again, you're saying?
No, Iowa lost after getting the number 2 spot just this fast.
Oh, okay.
We
I
might be
see.
back to number 2 after all.
All right. Bro, take back over.
Wow. Because I didn't watch the Oregon game, but I heard they got the brakes beaten off them.
I was disappointed too.
And I'm like, dang, who would have thought Indiana will be top right now as a football school when they were known more for basketball?
Absolutely. I was surprised myself, and I wanted to. I thought it was going to be close, but I definitely wanted Dante Moore to do a little better too. Definitely because he's from Detroit and he went to King High School. So yeah, I wanted a little better for that brother. But at the same time, you got to give credit where credit is due. And Fernando Mendoza
Mm-hmm.
been that guy the whole year, and they don't got all those 5-star recruits. They just got a lot of good disciplined dudes. But I was telling he, and I don't know if you knew, Nick Saban had his hand on the last 4 teams, the last 5 teams that was in the tournament, and now he has his hands on the last 2 teams in the tournament. So this whole time, regardless of people, throwing shade at Alabama, they were throwing shade because of my man Caleb DeBoer. But when it comes to Nick Saban's the GOAT because for the most part, it's been a Nick Saban bowl. And one person's gonna win from that coaching staff that used to coach with him. So yeah, I was more or less impressed with that. So yeah, and I like to give my man's credit where credit's due anytime I could. What are your thoughts on what's going on right now in the sports world? But I know that before we even get into that, I just like to say too, thank you for having me because, like I said, I've been enjoying the music and the things y'all been doing and your creativity. But just definitely glad to be on here with you guys. That's a breath of fresh air, something
See,
different.
when I thought of this show, right? I've been doing the indie experience since I was on radio. It was not he playing nothing but indie music, right? Now that I'm not doing radio no more, I said, you know what? I'm gonna bring it back, but in podcast form. Still do the same thing like I was doing on radio. Introduce people to the indie music that they never get a chance to hear because these are people who are doing it for themselves and they don't have that big push like people do through record labels. So you're not going to hear like 38. If 38 Spesh wasn't part of Griselda, you would not know who he was. When you think about these groups, you would not know who 38 Spesh was if he wasn't part of Griselda.
And
He's
that's how
from upstate New York. I think he's from Buffalo, New York, but you would not know who he was if he wasn't part of Griselda.
he actually from Rochester, but still lives in those low key New York areas though.
Right. So you like if he wasn't part of that crew, you wouldn't know who he was
A lot of
because he
people.
would be more underground than what he is right now. And now that now that we know he's part of Griselda, we know who he is and we're paying attention to his music. And there's a lot of artists out there like that who's not part of a crew that got that big push that
And
I may come across and say, you know what, they got some dope music. I'm gonna give them an opportunity, to get their music heard by the masses.
Absolutely.
So we're bringing my show from the radio to the podcast. I thought about it. I say I don't have to interview artists. Everybody loves music, right? Everybody loves music. It ain't gotta just be artists who I talk to and play their music. It could be anybody in the field. They ain't gotta be artists. They could be in any field, but just be a lover of music. And like I said to you, just send me five songs, and we play those 5 songs that you really like from artists from all over. His name, not just New York. We got LA, we got Indiana. And when you think of Indiana, you're not thinking hip hop. When you think of Indiana, you're not thinking hip hop. And this
Right.
is good that bringing in Freddie Gibbs saying he's from Indiana. Now people gonna be like, Indiana got artists like that, especially in hip hop. You might get somebody from Indiana that's doing R&B, other genres, but you're not
Absolutely.
putting hip hop when you think of Indiana. But Freddie Gibbs has now got you thinking Indiana when it comes to hip hop.
I had to be as versatile as possible too, because I could have went New York heavy or something like that, or East Coast heavy. I said, nah, that wouldn't be good enough, and I just wanted to have artists from different locations, and I thought that was gonna make it, because that's why the list was like it was. It just wasn't on. I did this because these is my favorite artists, which they are, but I wanted to make sure that versatility and where they came from. I didn't want to just have one, just everybody from New York. I wanted to kind of switch it up. Like the great Britain, from the Britain rapper, MF Doom. I feel like that was necessary to, give people different
Yeah,
flavors.
and what's good about hearing MF Doom is he don't sound like he's from across the pond.
Nah, because have you heard their
Because
music? Artist is
when you
terrible.
hear a lot of British rappers, you can tell they from
Yeah,
across the pond. Him, you can't tell. So you could be like, oh, he could be from New York, or he could be from LA, he could be from any state because he doesn't have that accent.
yeah,
So
that was.
that's a good one to put people up on because I didn't know they mentioned him more as a producer and a DJ. And
Yeah,
then when he passed away, that's when they started talking about, oh, yeah, he's an artist too.
yeah, he has some good music out there too. That's why I was like, man, it was hurting me when he passed away. But just lyrically, like I said, he got a lot of good music, whether it's like production or the music he actually performed too. So yeah, I was just glad to be able to kind of put these guys together and get 5 songs out there for people to kind of check out too.
And now the people who don't know about him, now they know about him. All these artists they didn't know about, now they know about him.
Because every genre,
And like what they heard, they can go through YouTube, through Spotify, Apple Music.
mhm,
They can listen to them on all those platforms.
give them different flavors. So, that's what I like because we all love different genres, we just don't, just say one thing or have one different genre. We kind of listen to everything, especially growing up like us too, because at one point, like we were talking about, when MTV was out, it wasn't a lot of our music out there. You get some pop and rock, but you wasn't getting everything else. We had to buy albums and stuff to get to run DMCs and the stuff like that in our neighborhoods until,
Yep, because
MTV.
they was not playing hip hop on the radio. They was not playing hip hop on the radio. And
Because
when
it
they
really
finally did start playing hip hop, the hip hop we like wasn't being wasn't heard on the radio anyway.
it came to like the late 80s before they really started advertising a lot of the hip hop with the MTV raps and everything too as well before the BETs and stuff started launching it and playing it on their stations. But y'all remember, man, and I want to talk about this. That jukebox was everything back
Yeah,
then.
I was just about to go there. I was
That
thinking about the
jukebox.
box.
Oh yeah, that box was amazing. I got in trouble several times, man, y'all. I ain't gonna tell y'all what video I was playing. Well, I'll tell y'all after we get off the air. But yeah, I got in trouble for getting a couple of videos out there playing them.
Remember HBO? You remember HBO used to show music videos for a hot minute.
HBO was
True.
remember HBO was everything before all these other places came out. It was HBO or
Yeah,
nothing.
before we really deep dived into cable, before cable even really existed, we had HBO. You had your
Absolutely.
regular channels, and HBO was basically our cable.
But
Mhm.
see, if you remember, Hugh, Friday nights on NBC, they used to play videos late night after the news and stuff went on.
Yeah.
Friday late night videos, I think it was the name of it. And then they used to have like different people from different NBC shows host the show. And then also, if you remember WGPR channel 62, they used to
Mhm.
play videos late at night too.
It's cool too, man. Because we were just talking junk, me and
See,
you, not so long ago, and you wouldn't believe, man. My homegirl sent me something on her algorithm about Dietrich furs, man. They had people like from one end all the way stretched around, man, trying to buy furs right now, man. And we were just laughing about that. That
Okay.
deal.
May I educate the audience a little bit on this road?
sure you can.
Okay, Dietrich Furs is a business in Detroit, Michigan. In fact, it is one of the oldest businesses in Detroit that is still open at the moment. They announced this year that they're shutting it down for good after being in business for over 130 years.
They about to shut that mug down.
Yep, that is why everybody is buying these furs now because they're having a huge discount sale. And keep in mind, Detroit, one of the things we are known for is wearing the furs and the gators. So, of course, that's why Dietrich was so good for so long, because when you wanted to get your fur, you went to one or two places. You either went to Dietrich Furs or you went to Louis the Hatter. I know you remember that place, Hugh.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But, of course, as people stopped not wearing fur as much and the economy kind of got different here in Detroit and whatnot, their business kind of went down over the years. So, I mean, what it boils down to is the people that own the business now, Road, they're in like their 70s. And they really don't have nobody to pass the business down to.
Makes
So
sense.
at this point, they said, okay, we're just going to call it a career and shut it on down and, just live out our final days.
Because you know what happened when that happened, when some people got up in age. I think the people from Gardner White were like damn near like in their 70s, almost 80s.
Same story.
And remember, Ro, when they gave that to their kids, what they did, they screwed it up, but went in 5 years later before they had to give it up. What's over there now? Ashley's or something? Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I mean, because actually, if you know the history of Detroit, Detroit actually started out as a fur trading city. In other words, the boats used to come off the Detroit River and come to Detroit. And, basically they would go up north where, basically most of Detroit at that point still was kind of jungle and whatnot. So they would basically catch the bears and whatnot. They would go to the various places near the river that were furriers that would, basically take the furs and make them rugs and coats and all of that. And then the people would come from the Detroit River, pack it all up and ship it off to different parts of the country. And that's how Detroit really got started back in the early 1700s.
I ain't even trying to be funny when I say this. I think all of us wanted a bearskin rug at one point. I know I did.
I can't say I wanted a bearskin rug, but I did want a chinchilla coat at some point. Going back full circle to the whole rap thing, because early on, some of the rappers was wearing the chinchillas and whatnot.
My mom had a fur. I rocked that mug before, man. Like it was like a day, like I think a pimp day or something in high school, man. Yeah, the good old days, man.
Yeah.
But definitely enjoyed being on here with y'all, man, and enjoyed that experience.
Okay, one last question, bro. Then I'll let you finish on up. We are also doing a new show. I want you to tell the people about that, Hugh.
We're gonna call it Two Brothers on the Couch, or we're gonna call it Two Unks, whatever y'all feel, It basically we're just gonna be talking all our favorite shows and sitcoms, and we doing that 70s show, man, which is one of my my bad. But then I just thank God that I'm diverse in the family matters. I know you was doing a little bit of the digging though, but yeah, we're gonna have fun with that, man. And because you still got to tell me a few things that I wasn't that young, but I was still a teenager or like close to my teen years, and I wasn't even up on that. So I know you know a lot about that, but yeah, we've been talking TV for the last few days. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to get on there and do that.
Yeah, and I know Rhoda tuning in, of course, as always, but we're not only just talking about the show, but we want to hear about some of y'all experiences. I mean, because we learn a lot from the people in the audience about, well, did you know about this character, or did you know about this episode, or did you know about that episode? Because for some people, when we come up with a show, it'll be like, oh, that was my favorite show. I bet y'all didn't know about this, and this. I mean, because just from doing the research for this particular episode, I learned a lot about Family Matters that I did not know. And man, we got some stuff to tell y'all about it tomorrow.
Because Meech's been hitting us with certain things.
Ever since Judy left, everybody's still wondering, why did Judy leave?
Well, keep in mind, I have answers to that question.
And never come back. That's the crazy part. How they
I have multiple answers to that question.
That all we saw is her go up the steps and never come back.
No, I don't know why that happened now. Based on my research. And one of the things makes sense, and one of the things you're going to be like, oh, wow. So, yeah, we definitely will get into that tomorrow. What happened to Judy? the whole Urkel situation, what happened to the old mama, the new mama, all that stuff we will talk about tomorrow. So
Yeah,
please
There's
check
no
out
new
Two
mama.
Unks Talking TV, also known as Two Bros Chilling on the Couch.
So, Hugh, tell the people about your two sports shows you do.
Yeah, I do the Guru's Perspective on Tuesday at 7 p.m. I recorded already. And of course, we have the Guru Sports Session with me and Ian. We talk sports. We're gonna do that tomorrow too at 9 p.m. We got some good things going on too, and we're gonna tell y'all about it. Then, man, we're gonna be busy this week. I know I am. I did 2 shows today. We do the show tomorrow, and then we'll be doing the show on Thursday. But yeah, it was definitely fun, and I appreciate doing it.
So, I know I watch the show all the time with you and E, and y'all always talking college football, college basketball, NFL, and NBA. And you talk when WNBA was talking WNBA, but I know there's people who probably watch this show and is like, why they don't talk about other sports besides those sports?
Some of them we don't talk about is because people don't know about. And me and E, a lot of people don't really know about this too. We're very educated on MLB, and we know a lot about MLB, and I know baseball. I mean basketball, but I believe I know more baseball than basketball. And a lot of people don't listen or they don't watch basketball. I mean baseball like that, so they don't really chime in when we talk about that. But that's something that we love as passionate fans. So we
No,
definitely
y'all do talk about y'all do share MLB, but it's like I guess for women who want to tune in who like sports, they want to hear more women. Y'all talk about more women's sports, but the thing is, for me, I like watching WNBA. I watch Unrivaled, which started already. New season started already. But as far as really getting into female sports, is nothing besides basketball that
you ask
and
that
female
because
sports really making me want to say I want to go watch.
we
Okay.
always you want to take that off? You want to take that
Yeah,
spot?
I mean, cause you already know if you are frequent fans of the show, you know I am very committed to talking about women's sports. If you know my background, you know at one point I was a college reporter, and my beat was actually women's basketball, but it expanded out to women's sports because as I got to know some of the young ladies and some of what they went through. I mean, they were student athletes just like the men were, but they weren't getting nearly the recognition or the resources that they got. So it became important for me to let people know their side of the story. So of course, when I did a podcast, I definitely was committed to talking women's sports, but unfortunately, part of the problem is that we don't have a lot of women's sports that's readily available to the public. I mean, if you are fortunate enough to have some time on the weekend, they've been doing a better job these last few years of showing stuff like women's gymnastics, women's volleyball, women's lacrosse. But and in
Wow.
terms of the mainstream, you don't get a lot of that. I mean, it's
Right.
several professional leagues that are women based throughout the country. I mean, one of the bigger leagues in the country right now for women's sports is actually the Women's Hockey League. And it's very good hockey, by the way, if you're able to catch
I've
it.
never
Because
seen it.
again,
See, you putting me on to something I didn't know about. I didn't know there was a women's hockey
and part
league.
of the problem with that road is that where do you find the women's hockey league? If you go on YouTube, you'll be able to catch some stuff, but that's not something that they're showing on TV. Now, shout out to Whoopi Goldberg, who a couple years ago started the Women's Sports Network, but unfortunately, it still ain't really caught on like you would like for it to, where people could check it out. There's also ESPN Her for people who may be familiar with that platform, but again, that's not something that it is not even in the ESPN
But
package,
did you want to
unfortunately.
know something about ESPN's Woman Channel and ESPN Her?
Yes.
Is those are extra. When you
Yes.
get cable, those channels are extra that you
You
have
ain't
to pay
getting
for.
tabled, exactly.
And so if I have to pay an extra $10 or $5 to my cable bill just to be able to watch the sports, you know what's gonna happen? They're not gonna do it
That's
unless they
the
got
problem.
money to do it. They're not going to.
Right. That even ties into Coach B show, where of course, he is committed to promoting women's tackle football. Again, several different women's tackle football leagues, but again, if you don't know where to find them, then you're not able to view them. And in some of those leagues, they play some pretty decent football. I mean, shout out to the lingerie leagues from a few years ago. But again, if you didn't
Yeah,
have cable, you wasn't even able to see that. So that's part of the problem, bro. It's
they
not
were
that we
showing it,
these things. It's
and
like,
I know we, I know we talked about MTV being a music station, but they were showing the lingerie leagues.
yes, there were.
And the crazy thing too is what I've noticed is like y'all was talking about when it comes to that too. Some of the things if you got like a network or something that we can check it out on. That's why we always tell people hit them comments up. Let us know if there's anything that we can add on or something that you watched that we might not be aware of that we can discuss. And just give us the plug on how we can watch it. But yeah, the crazy thing is when we do. Like when y'all was saying, like if you want an ESPNW or something like that, you know how these places be trying to scheme you. Like I remember I asked YouTube TV. Yes, I'm saying y'all names, y'all expensive mother. You know what? They told me. You know how much it already was paying $82 for them. For what I had. They said just to put the ESPNW on there. Y'all wouldn't believe I would have to pay $120 just to put one extra channel on there.
No, sir. No, sir.
And that's when I got rid of them altogether.
Absolutely. Understood. But no, I am looking forward to February, mind you, because that will give us the rare opportunity to talk about numerous sports because, of course, that will be the Winter Olympics. And,
Yeah.
we do definitely talk about the Olympic sports when those times come.
Yeah, Winter Olympics be cool, man, because it's like a
Yeah.
breath of fresh air.
I mean, because you got the figure skating, you got the ice hockey, the ice skating, you got the bobsled, and that's one of my personal winter favorites.
And then the sports people
You
always
got
intertwine.
so you're gonna see speed skating, you're gonna
Yeah,
see curling,
you got
and which is crazy is curling is just shuffleboard. You know that, right?
I love it. I love it.
If you look at the table shuffleboard, that's exactly what curling is. You just shooting the thing into a hole to make your points. It's shuffleboard.
You
rest
know
in
what?
peace, Elena Hologram, because that's what I'm thinking about at the moment.
We always used to make you mad with curling, but man,
Well, when I tell you, Ro, I hate curling with a passion that burn him. That's the most useless sport of them all,
that
bar
and
none.
that's why I was saying if you look at it, the way it's set up, you push it and then you take the broom, then you do this. But it's really shuffleboard. If you look at when you go shuffleboard, you shoot the thing to land it on the number to get your points. That's basically what curling is.
I'd
Somebody came up with the
rather
idea
watch
that
paint dry
let's make
than watch
shuffleboard and make it a sport.
curling match.
E, I want to throw this. I want to throw this at y'all right quick too, because you always messing with me, man. I think this is cool to see those crossovers too. You too, Rod. I want to know if Miles Garrett would go to one of Chloe Kim's events for
Now
Winter
that's a
Olympics.
good question. I mean, for those not familiar, Chloe Kim is an Olympic athlete. She is currently dating Miles Garrett, who is a football player for the Cleveland Browns. And yeah, it's only right that she would go. You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about it. When we had the Summer Olympics and Simone Biles was there, her husband who plays for Chicago
Yep.
Bears, he was definitely in the house watching her do her thing.
Yeah, he was dedicated too.
Matter of fact, a couple Olympics back when the skier was in the Olympics, and she was dating Tiger Woods at the time. He was
Lindsey
there.
Vonn. Lindsey Vonn was
Yep, there
dating
you
Tiger
go.
Woods.
That's cool to see them interactions too, because remember they gave Simone Biles' boyfriend time off from the practices, the OTA, so he can go
Yep.
see the Olympics. So that was actually pretty cool.
Speaking of celebrity couples, I recently found out today that Michael Porter Jr. is currently dating a celebrity. Apparently,
Really?
he is hooking up with Ice Spice.
Are you serious? Michael Porter?
Yeah, they are an item.
It's funny to me too, man, because as much as you might think I hate it, man, I think it's interesting though. I think it's pretty cool to see the different dynamics between them.
Right, because that do seem to be a more of a common theme lately with the athletes hooking up with movie stars, hooking up with people in the music industry. I mean, it's been going on since the beginning. One of the most famous couples ever was Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe.
And then speaking of when you was showing me that with Cooper DeJean and one of the Bella twins, so that's just
Right.
is, definitely fun, entertaining to see how that goes down.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Anything else you got to say?
So
Nope.
I figured this out. That even though it's not that many women's sports broadcasters like the NBA, the NFL, that if you can discuss a little bit about it, it would be nice. Like, because everybody's gonna know, people gonna talk. Anybody who does a sports show is gonna talk WNBA. Is going, you know what I'm saying? We that's a given.
But we also talk about sometimes too, which another thing is because we know a lot of people don't look at it as much too, especially baseball. The college when it comes to the women baseball, a lot of people don't watch that deep.
It's so, but it's not the same. See, I think for some people it's not the same because for women it's softball.
Okay,
It's
well,
not even
see,
the same
here's
baseball.
an interesting thing for you, Ro. This year, they're actually starting the Women's Professional Baseball League, and they're actually going to show that on
That's what I'm
national
talking about.
television. So,
See,
I definitely want to
what
get
I
into
like.
that.
That's gonna
So you
work
know
too.
what's crazy
We
is
watch baseball, so that's up our alley.
Absolutely.
so all the sports that I like growing up, football is my top out of all the sports.
I want them to
I've
do more.
always wished they had a women's version of the sport.
Man, if they had a women's version of NFL, man, I'd probably be up watching football all year.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I wish because they're so you'd be surprised how many women not only do they watch football, but they love playing football. You'd be surprised of how many women you probably if you did a survey, you probably get a lot of women saying not only do I love the sport, I love playing the sport.
Because the one thing is, as much as I like football, you won't be seeing me watch a lot of that UFL. I can tell you that.
And UFL is starting soon.
Yeah, I know. I ain't
I
gonna
watched a few games. I watched a few games.
I tried just.
Alabama's not a bad team. Even though I always root for my New York. Any sports I get
Right.
into, except
Now
for NFL.
here's the interesting thing about that, y'all.
Except the NFL.
The UFL this year, they experimenting with a different format. A
Okay.
lot of the team, because for example, Michigan Panthers was our team here. They took Michigan Panthers and they're going to be elsewhere. They're basically doing what I felt like they should have did in the first place and putting a lot of those teams in places where they don't have a team. With the thought process being that, okay, if you don't have a sport here and we put one here, if we build it, they will come. Because the sad part about the UFL is after that first few games in the first year, the crowds was like non-existent.
because they combined what was it? The
The
XFL
USFL
got the
and
five
the UL.
personality,
Yeah, right.
and the other one they combine them together. Now they what they are now.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, truthfully, the problem, truthfully, is it's the quality. The quality of the games not good. I mean, you have 8 teams. I think last year, 3 of them was pretty okay. The rest of them was like really,
Because
really bad.
I think Alabama won twice.
Yes,
I think Alabama won the
yes,
championship twice,
and
back
they
to back.
also won in the USFL.
Yeah, I hate that
So,
UFC.
and the third and our last segment, Hugh, is called dropping gems. So this is where you drop a gem to an entrepreneur, to somebody who want to start a podcast, even to an artist. Even though you're not an artist yourself, this is where you could give advice to drop a gem so that people could take that advice, apply it to what they're doing. You know,
Man, my homeboy Daryl Davis, man, I've been telling him, man, I want him to do a podcast because for me too, a lot of people don't know. I don't really talk about it as much because I don't think people are as versed on that. He's really good when it comes to the UFC as far as the origins and the backgrounds of the talents. And him and one of my other boys named Jeff, man, I would love for them to hook up and do a show because I know that they're just so versed when it comes to UFC. For them two to collab and do a show, man, I would love that. And I know they never heard me talking about it, but I'm gonna say it now. I would love for Jeff and I would love for my boy Daryl to get together and do a UFC podcast. I think that'd be awesome because
I
it's
don't even
definitely
think there's any out there. I don't think there's any out there. I know there's sports podcasts, but one specifically just for UFC, I've
yeah,
never heard of one. You know what I'm saying?
because they're so
So
knowledgeable too. So yeah, that'd be great. I would love to see that type of show. Because I know about UFC, but not as educated as them brothers, and I ain't even gonna lie to you about it. Make it happen, fellas. Y'all hear me? Or if y'all can watch the show, make it
so
happen.
so we gonna put it like this: if you are someone who's into UFC, you know so much about UFC, you you can do a podcast. Get your podcast going about UFC or whatever sport you into, or if it's not even a sport. If you're into music like I am, you could do your own music podcast.
It's a
It don't
lot of
have to be, it's whatever you into that you know you good at. If you could turn it into a podcast, then you go ahead and do it.
Yeah, because I know I got to the point where I was like, well, yeah, so many people asking me about it. I didn't know what to get and where to start. But once it really only take you just getting a really good camera and a microphone, and once you get that, then you can start putting all the other creations and stuff together with a podcast. But that's where it all started at. And that's why I think people need to realize you don't need everything at once. You can just chip and buy one thing at a time to get you where you want to be. Because I know it takes time, but yeah, most times if you got a computer and good or decent internet, just get you a good camera and a microphone, and that's where you can start it, and you can do whatever after that.
Yep. And that's gonna be it for today. Because we gotta let my boy Hugh and E go. Well, I'm a night owl, so I'ma still be up. But Hugh is not a night owl. So we I
I got me.
appreciate you doing the show. I wanted I appreciate you doing the show, Hugh. I
No
wanted
problem.
people to know
You having
why
me?
you was called the sports guru. I wanted people to know about the two sports shows you do because you're so knowledgeable about sports.
Thank you.
And I'm sure if somebody just out of nowhere just throw a question at you about sports, you probably would have the answer. So I know I wouldn't.
Yeah, definitely appreciate that.
Yeah. And you put me on to some music that even though I may know who the artists are, I don't listen to their music, but it wasn't bad music to where I'd be like, I can see myself if somebody else was playing it, because they won't be etched in my brain to where I'd be like, let me put that Freddie Gibbs on, or but if somebody else is playing it, I would know who it is because I heard it from you.
Appreciate it. And I try to listen to decent music. You know, I think I have a good ear for it at least. Kill all mumble rap.
Yep, because I don't understand what you're saying. Not to say that you may not have talent, but if we can't understand you, we're not gonna listen to you. That's point blank period.
With all due respect.
So that is it. We're gonna end it. We're gonna end it on one of Hugh's songs. What song should we end it on, Hugh?
Oh, you can hit that Tri-State Digital Diary.
So we're gonna end it on Hugh's song, Tri-State Digital Diary. We're gonna see you next Tuesday. Maybe another guest, may not be. You never know with this show. We're just gonna give you a great show regardless.
Yep, let me know whenever you need me again. Appreciate it.
Deuces, everybody. Hit that Interstate.
Are you really ready to meet God? Huh? Tell me you think your soul is ready to meet God for judgment right now. You are lucky that you're not dying now, aren't you?
Open the diary. From analog to digital, digital to analog. Yo, deluxe entrance, digital diary, death sentence. Design paragraphs for 3-dimension prescriptions. The high potent dosage of dangerous dialogue. Pop 1,000,000 milligrams inside of a monologue. Have them tweaking. Puncture the notebook, pen bleeding. Confessions of a squealer got your men leaking. Bank rolls tucked in a tailor tux. Boat language for my sailors counting major bucks. No discrepancies. Spot a fraud like leprosy. The bottom broad wanna get next to me, the Bishop Don. Sid Vicious with the charm, pimpin' strong. I'm talking big dishes on the arm, heavy cables on the neck. Pure solid gold, holy tabernacle text, and a fully loaded scroll. Fuck a concept, sit in the stew. By the projects, cooking up this alphabet soup. Straight out the Pyrex, the pot boils. Copping stocks of the oil with the Arabs who set up shop on foreign soil, yelling Muammar, Osama, Saddam. That's the heritage, I'm strapped with a nuclear bomb. Now who's the terrorist? Attack of the clones. Back for the throne, immaculate poems. Perform with an accurate tone. Test technology talk. Literally blow the system in a custom kitted butterloaf range. How could you miss them? Body and tracks, I embodied the art of rap. Sniper with articulate aim, leave the target flat. Signed and sealed, the letter of appeal say, I'm cold as ice, kill it will, ayy. Dip the stem of the leaf into the ink. Scribble life as I see it on every sheet. They say it's like the Bible in HD, so I suggest you pray for every rival that face me. Reveal the hidden scriptures and lost books. Laying deep inside the mind of the God, look. They say it's like the Bible in